The following program is a Nighthawk Network presentation.
This is the story about an African-American woman who is passionate about professional wrestling and goes to countless events. She then, one day, gets the idea to start a wrestling talk podcast to talk about her favorite wrestlers and wrestling programs. She has a home podcasting room full of wrestling memorabilia that she uses to do the show, and every week you can tune in and join in the conversation.
Welcome to Rumble Time. I am your host, Queen Gemini. And we got several things to go over. This weekend, Saturday was a full day of wrestling. It really was. AEW had their All Out pay-per-view, which aired at 3 p.m. on Saturday. And then the WWE had WrestlePalooza, which aired at 7 p.m. on Saturday. Now, I enjoyed WrestlePalooza. But I have been seeing folks that have just totally it's been mixed reviews. Some people enjoyed it. Some people it was trash. It was just like another SmackDown or another Raw. It was this, it was that. I wasn't paying no $30 for that and yada yada yada. And then they was comparing the two. AEW was better, but you paid $40 for 14 matches, and 14 matches, some of the matches was just unnecessary. So we're going to talk about it. AEW, okay, now I call them Edge. I'm not going through all that. Edge and Christian, their props. Especially Edge. He paid tribute to John Cena. That was all nice and sweet and all that. So, his wife, as we know, Beth Phoenix, they called her, by her name, Beth Copeland. She came out. I was like, oh, so you're supposed to be countering the whole AJ Lee return thing, which to me was, it didn't get the pop that AJ got. So, yeah. So I'm like, okay. Because all I caught was highlights. Now, this is the thing that irks me. You can tell the difference between real wrestling fans, and I'm talking, when I say real wrestling fans that can, if you say Black Jack Mulligan, they know who you talking about. If you say Bruiser Brody, they know who you're talking about. That's what I'm calling a real wrestling fan. Unlike these new fans that only know 5 people, and it's the 5 people that they happen to like. And they don't know their whole wrestling history. They just know what they have done recently here. Not from the beginning when they first started, just, in the past maybe 5 to 10 years. They might know that history, but they're nothing beyond that. Because, and I'm going to explain why I say that. Because what got on my nerve, okay, we all remember back when all the pay-per-views, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, for WCW, Fall Brawl, the Great American Bash, Starrcade, all of those was pay-per-views. You had to pay to see it. Period. Point blank. That was the only way. The only other way you was gonna get to see it if you bought a ticket and went to that arena and sat there and saw it live. Now, they complained so bad about the whole ESPN thing, which I understand why they're doing. It kind of puts it. I understand when I heard Triple H what he was saying. You'd have a pay-per-view, okay, on a Sunday, all right? And Monday morning, the only way you knew about what happened on that pay-per-view was if, you know, you and your friends was talking about it. You know, you had wrestling, you know, friends. They was, you know, somebody that had gotten the pay-per-view, y'all was discussing what had happened. They didn't talk about what happened on the pay-per-view on any of the sports shows. It just didn't happen like they do for the football. Like for instance, you know, you come off of Sunday football. Monday morning, they showing highlights. They talking about all the players, the games, the everything that happened Sunday. But on those pay-per-views, you did not hear about that. So he was saying that opens up a door for them. So when they have a pay-per-view, they're talking about it on ESPN. Yeah, WCW had such and such, you know, WrestlePalooza. And this is what happens, X, Y, and Z. Okay. So I understand that. Now, people complaining about, well, they took it from Peacock and I paid this one price and it was part of the subscription. Yes, I love that too. It was, you know, it was wonderful. Still, it's the $30 that they're, you know, most people are griping about, but it's not just the ESPN that you're getting. Okay, you're getting the ESPN, the Hulu, and the Disney Plus. It's all three of them. It's not just one. So I can live with that. So to me, it pays for itself. It pays for itself because when you got PL, you have sometimes the WWE has more than one PLE in a month. You're gonna see both of them, so it works. Now, AEW is a part of. They're showing. They signed a deal with HBO Max. That pay-per-view that they had on Saturday, you couldn't see. That was not part of HBO Max subscription. I checked. You had to pay $39.99. That's $40. AEW ain't worth no $40 to me. Ain't no way. But people actually paid that. So I'm like, hold on. Y'all sat up here and complained about WWE going to ESPN and paying $30 compared to AEW, where you're gonna pay $40 for each one of their pay-per-view. And sometimes they do the same thing. They have two in a month. So you paying $80. You can end up paying $80 in 1 month to see two crappy pay-per-views. Because I'm telling you, I've seen their highlights. It's not something I'm gonna spend money on because I will be mad and want my money back. The only decent one that I saw that they had was when Sting had his retirement and he had it in the Greensboro Coliseum, and Greensboro sold that sucker out. And the only reason it sold out was because it was Sting. He knew to bring it home. That was the only way it was going to sell out. So it's these new fans that irks my nerves. Now, let's get into the match that everybody has complained the most about. And that's been the Brock Lesnar John Cena match. He's on his retirement tour. They should do better by him. Yada, yada, yada. Let me explain something to y'all. Ain't no way John was going to go in that ring and just have a squash match and he get the win. It was not going to happen. This is how I know these folks are not true wrestling fans, because go back to SummerSlam 2014 where John faced Brock for that title. Whew. I rewatched the match. Y'all thought y'all thought Saturday was bad. Go watch SummerSlam 2014 when Brock took him to Suplex City. Now, when I originally saw it, I was laughing. I thought it was funny because I didn't like Cena. I didn't care nothing about Cena. I didn't care nothing about that match. But after rewatching it, I felt bad for John. I'm sitting up there. I'm like, "Ooh, somebody help him. Somebody help him." And hubby had to remind me, "Baby, this has already happened. Ain't nobody gonna come and help him." Yes, in real life, Brock would stomp John down. He really would. So when this match happened, now Brock clearly said he was there to F up the whole retirement tour. I believe this is just the start to a bigger picture. And this ain't the end. This ain't the end. He F5 the crap out of you, boy. Oh my God. I ain't never felt that bad. Well, besides SummerSlam, look, rewatching that, I felt sorry for. I was like, somebody phone a friend and help him. Somebody come down and help him. Somebody stop this. Do something. You got little kids crying. I really felt bad for John, but it ain't the end. And that's what I need people to understand. Brock has always been that John's toughest opponent. He's always taken John to the limit. Now, if I'm just saying, one way, if I was booking this, I know John is listening to the fans and everything and all that, and that's nice and well and good. But one thing I would do, my last and final match, which as of now is being said, it will be December the 13th, Saturday night main event. I would book it that John faces Brock the last and final time. And we get the John Cena that took out Carlito's bodyguard. We get that John Cena. Oh, that way that will put an end to their rivalry. John goes out on top and he conquers the beast. That's just the way I would book it. And I think that would be the perfect end. Steel cage match. Oh, that would be awesome. That would be the perfect end to his career. I'm just saying. So I'm hoping that's how it plays out, because they can't let that slide. They just can't. They can't let it slide. So, okay. So now, yeah, WrestlePalooza only had the 5 matches, where All Out had like I said, 14 unnecessary matches. And some of these people, I can't even pronounce their names. Wasn't gonna try to pronounce their names, and some of them I didn't even want to see. I'm like, I don't even know you. Who you? Where you come from? Which I do try to catch. AEW on Wednesdays. I try to, and check it out. And something is wrong. I love wrestling. Everybody knows this. Anytime I will sit up and look at AAA wrestling, or I will look at New Japan wrestling when I could get it, and ain't had no clue what nobody is saying, but I would watch it and be like, yes, I don't know what you're saying, but it sounds like you finna you get ready to go off. When I'm watching AEW, it does not hold my attention. I will start doing other things. I'll start cooking, or I need to put that up. I need to start folding clothes. Or so I'll start doing other stuff. They need some of their matches that they have, some of the things they let their superstars do is ridiculous. They already got Will Ospreay, whatever his last name is. He's out. He got hurt at the last pay-per-view. You can't have these folks doing unnecessary crap because they're not superheroes. They will break something that they need. This man is out. I don't know if he's coming back. I'm like, Lord, you are shortening careers. Darby Allin, we done seen Darby Allin do all kinds of, I done seen him go through plates of glass. I'm like, Lord bless his heart. Yeah. Yeah, they do use most of them do. They use their real names. Then they just, it's just some of the things they do. It's just unnecessary. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You're not supposed to do that for real. You gonna mess around. Somebody's gonna get seriously injured, and that's gonna be it. That's gonna end their career. But hey, they, it is what it is. Then on top of it, they got the best women's division. No, the hell they don't. No, they don't. I don't know who told them that, but they told them a hot lie, because I've watched their women's match. Now they have one or two that are really good. Okay. Whew. I have watched the match. I'm like, honey, you totally missed her head. It was sloppy. I'm like, just come on, hurry up, end this, because this is painful to watch. And then this whole thing with Sasha Banks. I'm gonna call her what I've always been calling Sasha Banks. She's got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 titles. Honey, you ain't never been that daggone good. This is just the only reason why she has all these titles is because she's in control of her own creative. That's why she has all these daggone titles, and it's getting freaking ridiculous now. I'm like, come on now, y'all. Yeah, okay. God bless you. May heaven smile upon you is my prayer. So people's trying to boost it up and make it seem like AEW is the better product than WWE. And I'm like, okay, if that is the case, then why is wrestlers that was once with WWE that's now in AEW trying to get back home? They trying to return home. I want to go home. I want to go home. Yeah, it is too much work. It's just too much because, honey, you was not that good. Yeah, okay. You good, but you ain't that good. And but if y'all that good, why Monk's trying to go home? That's all I'm saying. Cause you see where Rusev is. That's all I gotta say about that. And Aleister Black and Paige already put it out there. I want to come home. I want to come home. Yeah, I want to come home. I don't like this. Yeah, I want to come home. Some people, what's her name, Tony Storm, when she lost her title this, Saturday, they was like, is she going to WWE? Hell, let me stop. Okay, no, she's not going to the WWE. Because she came from the WWE. She couldn't handle the WWE. It was too much. Their schedule is too much. What you thought it was gonna be? This is the WWE, honey. What you thought? And now, yeah, okay. But anyway, I ain't got nothing to do with that. But anyway. So I enjoyed the pay-per-view. I don't care what other folks say. I enjoyed it. It set the stage. Oh, and another thing about the whole ESPN move. After WrestlePalooza, there was a special edition of Rumble Time where we talked about the show, me and Ebook. And afterwards, I went to check to see, how the whole ESPN setup was. Can you go back and rewatch it, right? I was able to watch the post show. I've never been able to do that with Peacock. Anytime I would, after a PLE, and I, do a live, my live reaction of it, if I missed the post show, I just missed the post show. But I was able to go back and watch the whole thing. So I was impressed. So far, I am liking the. Huh? Uh-huh. And that's right, and the pre-show. You could watch all of it. You could watch the pre-show, the post-show, and WrestlePalooza. So you don't miss nothing. You get to see everything. You don't get all of that. You didn't get all of that with Peacock. So I am impressed. So I'm gonna be curious to see how this plays out for the next PLE, which we gonna talk about in just a moment. But I enjoyed it. And all I can say, well, I will say this one last thing about AEW. Please stop putting Darby Allin in these specialty matches and he loses. He had a coffin match, and what happened? He lost it. And I'm like, son of a biscuit eater. It's the way they book some of their talent, it just pisses me off. It just irks my nerves. But anyway, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed WrestlePalooza, and I can't wait for Crown Jewel. And we're gonna talk about that in a moment. But now, I have to touch base on this. This is we got a wrestler missing. Well, he gone now. He had been missing, and I was like, wait a minute, where's Andrade? Because they had paired him with Ray Phoenix, right? I was like, where Andrade? Then sources started coming out saying that he was no longer with the company, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Now he did everything he could he asked for his release from AEW. Then he did everything he could to get fired. Then the contract finally ran out and he was able to come home. What is going on? Y'all, it was a whole mess. Okay. Now, this is what I heard. I ain't one gossiping. You didn't hear this from me. Word is, Andrade failed the wellness. He had a wellness violation. Okay. He had to be escorted out of the building at one of the, house shows, because he was showing his behind this. And they suspended him without pay. And I guess they was like, weighed the option. Because usually now, from what I understand, if you fail, it's like your first violation, you get your little suspension and stuff, you go to a little rehab or whatever. You know, they get you you got a chance to you got a chance, to get yourself together. But from what they said, Andrade showed out. When I say showed out, he showed out. So they was like, you know what, we ain't gonna do this, and they just shipped him off onto his merry little way. So Andrade is no longer with the WWE. So now some sources say they believe he's gonna go back to AEW. And I was like, I don't know about that, because he wasn't happy in AEW, and he was trying to get away from there to get back to the WWE. Now before the whole wellness policy thing came out, first they were saying that it was released that he was not happy with how they was using him creatively and everything. And well, they shot that down real quick, because with them purchasing AAA, they had big plans for him, and they had a whole run they had laid out for him. And yeah, that's all gone. So I was like, so that's where, and Andrade is going bye-bye. So I don't know where in the world he gonna show up at. So we just gonna have to wait and see. Okay, now the next PLE will be October the 11th in Perth, Australia. I hope I said that right. Crown Jewel. And this is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one. Okay, guys, check this out. The crown, the whole Crown Jewel championship. Now the belts are strictly for Saudi, okay? But you know how they get the nice little ring, like a Super Bowl ring. Well, at Crown Jewel, they champion versus champion, okay? So for the men's Crown Jewel championship, we got our undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes will face World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. Now, during the pre-show, Cody was out there having his nice little conversation with the little team and everything. And then here comes Seth. So they stand, facing off, and they hold up their titles. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, we see where dude. Okay, we got you. Okay. So last night, Raw opens up. Cody's out there before he can even get to talking good. Here comes Seth with the Thunderdome. So Seth gets in the ring. Y'all, I don't know what Seth said. Seth was asking a whole bunch of questions. He did ask him some questions. Now, one question I do remember he asked him, because I started zoning out when he started talking. What was it? WrestleMania 41. He gave him this. Cody gave him this watch. Okay. And later on, Becky was talking about it probably ain't even a real Rolex, and I was like, somebody lightning hit her or something, cause she just getting on my nerves. But anyway, Posef was like, I ain't wore this watch, and he wore it. He had it on ever since WrestleMania 41, and you said it meant something, and I was like, are you gonna cry or something? Just hurry up and get this over with, dude. Come on now, say what you gotta say. And he was like, I'm wearing it tonight, and he was just going on and on and on. And I was like, oh my God. Are you all right? So he asked Cody some questions. I was like I said, y'all, I zoned out because he was working my nerves. Cody, I loved how he did this. He asked him 2 questions, and it was perfect. Cody said, in the 3 matches we've had, they have been 1-on-1. At Crown Jewel, will that be the case? Then he asked him, and more importantly, in the 3 matches that we've had, Seth Rollins, how many of those have you won? I was like, ooh, shots fired. That's all he needed to say. Yes, those. I was like, ain't nothing else needed to be said. Seth was standing there looking like a dumb deer in headlights. He was looking like, oh, I did all this talking, and he just shut me down with 2 simple questions. Then the 2 tons of fun are standing there when Cody got out of the ring, standing there like they were gonna do something, and Seth, just gestured for a move to the side and everything. And I'm really sick of Braun Breaker and all that daggone barking and stuff. Yeah, put a muzzle or something on him because it's just irritating at this point. Oh, you are not your freaking dad. Please stop doing that. I am getting excited because we gotta admit their matches, those 3 matches that they have been awesome, and Cody has took the win on all of those matches. Cause yeah, when Cody returned, when Cody made that return at whatever WrestleMania it was, I can't think of the number right now, but it was rumored. I'm like, Cody ain't coming back there. Y'all don't know that for no fact. And then his music hit. When I say I lit up my house, I lit up my house. I forgot my grandkids was here. They just came in my room and looked at me like, what is wrong with you, lady? Is you all right? Then when they had the what was it, that cage match, and Cody was injured and he took off his jacket and his little chest was all that what was it, the right side was all red and stuff, and I screamed, and then I didn't even realize it. I was in shock and I was holding my breath, and my grandma's son he said breathe. He said breathe, grandma, breathe before you pass out. Cause I was just in shock. Cause I was like, oh my God. I am. I'm always scaring them. And I don't mean to. But it shocked me. I was like, oh, I don't think you're supposed to be out there. That don't look good. Oh, dude, are you all, I don't think you all right. I'm like, oh Lord, oh Lord. That night, that match I had so much respect for Cody. I wanted Cody to win, but I was a little scared. Cause I'm like, he's hurt. And then they announced it. They was like, y'all, he really is injured. I'm like, well, what is he doing out there? I'm like, oh Lord. So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to this match. I'm gonna be dead on this. I just gotta make sure they're not here. They're not here when I watch it. I gotta speaking of which, I gotta make sure I message my daughter. Hey, you do not need me on the 11th. Please tell me you don't need me on the 11th. Now, for the women's Crown Jewel Championship, it will be our new women's world champion, Stephanie Vaquer, will face whoever wins the triple threat match Friday between Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax, and Jade Cargill. So whoever right now, Tiffany is the champion. This is gonna be interesting. I gotta wait Friday and see who comes out on top. I'm so tired of Tiffany Stratton. Yeah, I want to be the longest reigning women's champion. Yeah, nobody cares because I'm tired of watching you. You do the same thing over and over and over. Every match is the same. I'm like, hold on. She's finna do them cartwheels. Hold on. She's finna do it. And sure enough, she doesn't. She did more in NXT than she's doing now. I'm like, what happened? So we got to wait till Friday and see if her title reign will continue on, which I really hope it doesn't. Or where they going to put this belt. Is they going to take it off of her and put it on Jade, or is they going to put it on Nia? We just going to have to wait and see. Okay, y'all. Before I get ready to come on, there was some news. I found some news that was very, 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 very interesting. Brace yourselves. This will take place in Perth, Australia, Crown Jewel. The last real champion versus the phenomenal one. Yep, y'all heard it right. Fans asked for it and asked for it and asked for it. And they answered. Let me get to it. Okay, this is what I saw first. John had tweeted, I want to thank Triple H for being flexible here and rewarding the true driving force behind Cena versus Styles, the fans. 2 posts over 10 million views, and so many of you let yourselves be heard. WWE, Crown Jewel, Perth, and AJ Styles. You will get my everything. Listening to our audience is always what's best for business. I am forever grateful to you to you all for choosing my next opponent. Okay, that was John's tweet. So, Triple H tweeted, John Cena versus AJ Styles is a match we all want to see, and at Crown Jewel, we will. Saturday, October the 11th. So, we get it. We get it. Cena and AJ Styles at Perth. I hope I'm saying that right. So we're gonna get it. The Phenomenal One and the Last Real Champion. I think that's gonna be a good match. As long as don't nobody come and mess it up or interfere or all that good stuff, it'll be a nice match. Now, this could be a match that may happen for Perth. And now just hear me out. Hear me out. This will be one time I will be on Brock's side. Okay? And I know y'all like, wait a minute, you don't like Brock like that. But when I read this to y'all go see why. Because some people need to learn to shut up and keep their mouth shut. Logan Paul has said that Brock Lesnar should have never returned to the WWE. Paul disrespected Lesnar in a social media video after Lesnar threw away Prime bottles on SmackDown last Friday. Brock, you're a disrespectful, oversized Sasquatch, and you shouldn't have come back to the WWE. There, I said it. I said it. Logan said, yikes. You are messing with the wrong person, Logan Paul. That's what the person, that posted about it, says. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know in what universe he thought that was a good idea to say that, let that come out of his mouth. This is a man that this is let me know he don't know nothing about wrestling. He can't tell me that he's a wrestling fan. He can't say, yeah, I'm a wrestling fan. I've been a wrestling fan for years. No, you can't. Because if you did, you would know this man's track record and stuff. You would know his history. You would know about when he took, John and several other people to Suplex City. You would also have witnessed what happened to Paul John on Saturday when he F5'd that man to the very depths of hell. You would know that when the man music hits and he comes out, he switches into literally a beast. He hears something goes off in his head that says, beat the crap out of everybody. Everybody. Don't leave nobody standing. And that's what he does. This man makes me wonder about him. The few times that he has wrestled my tribal chief, Roman Reigns, I'm like, I'm with you, my tribal chief. Are you sure this is what we're supposed to be doing? Even when Paul Heyman was with Roman and Paul told Roman, I wasn't trying to save Brock Lesnar from you. I was trying to save you from Brock Lesnar. Okay. And this is after, you know, he don't give no else. I think he will F5 a kid if need be. And when Paul made that statement, he was, ride or die, tribal chief, the whole 9 yards. And, and he was like, that mother crazy. That mother crazy. I'm just saying. And for a brief hiccup there, he went back for like 5.5 seconds. He was, back with Brock. But then, he went back to his tribal chief and everything. And yes, our tribal chief came out on top and everything. But because he's in a whole another level, he done switched over to yeah. And that's what saved him and got him through that. Because if he was that whole Roman Reigns big dog crap, yeah, he'd have got the crap beat out of him again. Hey, Road. So, yeah. So Logan Paul is poking a bear that should not be poked. This is not what you want. I'm not rooting for you, Logan Paul, because I don't like you. I would rather root for Brock Lesnar. And I'm going to tell you why I would pick Lesnar over Paul. I've known Brock longer than I've known Logan. I remember when that man started. I have watched him through the years, the whole 9 yards. I have a feeling that this is going to be a match. And Paul is going to wish that he going to learn. He going to learn everything ain't always scripted. They can't. Brock is on a whole nother level of crazy. They can suggest, look, we just want to suggest that you don't totally break every bone in his back. We just suggesting it. We didn't say it's a suggestion, okay? I mean, come on, think about it. Do you remember when he was running around breaking folks' arms? He broke Triple H arm. He broke Mark Henry arm. So on this one, if they book this one for Crown Jewel, I am rooting for Brock all day long. Cause yeah, hey, I know him. I know him longer. I've seen his career through the years, and I can't stand Logan Paul. So we just got to see how this plays out. So Triple H, make it happen, because he needs to learn, and he gonna learn with that one, honey. He gonna learn. He gonna learn. He gonna learn. Okay, let's see. Real quick to close out the show. I'm not gonna talk about this too long. I'm gonna pick this one up on Thursday when I talk about a few other ones. I might make this a permanent part of the show. Each week, I think this was supposed to be, we've had some hiccups in the road, and we never got to the dream matches. So I think each at the end of each show, we talk about, we leave some time and talk about a dream match that we would love to see, past and present. And now this dream match, everybody said they wish this had happened before they retired. And now we're not gonna get this. You know, it's too late. But it would have been good. And I'm gonna tell you how I would have booked it. And that's the dream match. The dream match everybody wanted was Sting versus The Undertaker. When they was, in their prime. And yes, the Icon versus the Phenom. Or the Dead Man. Whichever one you want to call him. Now I personally would book this in one or two matches. Either a casket match or a Hell in a Cell match. Either one, I think them two would bring the house down. I really think in their prime, if they faced off in either one of those matches, it would have been it'd have been one of those matches that, like how they talk about the Undertaker and Mankind Hell in a Cell match. That match would have been one that would still been talked about to this very day. Because it'd have been off the chain. Especially with both of them in their prime. Yeah. Now, as far as picking a winner, y'all know I'm going with my boy, The Undertaker. Always. Because he's always been. Yeah, Sting bring the bat and all the whole 9 yards, but then we got the Undertaker and the whole dark side thing. Yeah, that would have been a match. Woo! That would have been a match. So now, Thursday, book your dream match. I got one. You can do past, present. You can do somebody that from the past, that if they're no longer wrestling, or they're no longer with us, if they was, that you would like to see them go up against one of the present wrestlers. Because I got one, and I got a match, and I'm working on how I would do the whole announcing and the whole 9 yards. I'm telling you, I'm going all out on this one. You're going to be surprised. So for Thursday, get your match together so we can talk about. We'll go over the matches, and we'll go over Thursday will be wrestling news. Anything else I hear interesting, and I will check. I gotta relook at Raw, because last night something happened that just kind of threw me for a loop, and I gotta make sure I saw what I thought I saw. But yeah, we're gonna have some stuff to talk about on Thursday. So I appreciate you guys as always for coming and hanging out. And for those that will take a look afterwards, hey, I appreciate you. So we will see you Thursday. Bye.